3 months ago, you were exactly where you are right now. Same salary, same bills, same feeling of, I have no idea where my money is going. But you don't have to be. I'm going to show you how to completely overhaul your financial life in 90 days. Not 10 years, not 5 years, 90 days. And by overhaul, I mean you're going to cut unnecessary spending, automate your wealth, crush consumer debt, and build real momentum that carries into the next year. My name is Gary, and I spend way too much time researching financial transformation timelines. And if you're someone who feels like your finances are a complete mess, like you're earning good money but somehow broke by the end of the month, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, because this 90-day plan is literally designed for you. Here's the thing. Most people think transforming your finances takes years. They think they need to make more money or get lucky or wait for things to magically get better. That's wrong. You can see dramatic results in 90 days if you follow this exact system. All right, we're going to break this into 4 phases. Each phase builds on the last. This is the roadmap. Phase 1 is assessment and efficiency, and it's weeks 1 through 2. Week 1. Audit your finances. Here's what you're going to do, and I'm dead serious about this. You're going to treat your personal life like a business, because it is a business. You're the CEO. Grab 3 months of bank statements. Actually grab them. Don't just think about grabbing them. Open your banking app right now and download them. Now categorize every single transaction into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, fixed expenses. Rent, utilities, insurance, subscriptions you actually use. These are the things you have to pay. Bucket 2, discretionary spending, the wants. Eating out, coffee runs, impulse purchases, entertainment. This is where the money is leaking.
Before we start, I put together a free PDF called The Money Leaks Checklist, Anus Tamus 2025 edition. It breaks down the 10 biggest places people lose money without realizing it, and how you can plug those leaks today. If you want to stop wasting cash and redirect it into savings or investments, grab it free. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Download it now. It takes 10 seconds, and at pulling glance you're persuasive. And it might be the most profitable thing you do today. Now, back to our main video.
Bucket 3, debt payments. Whatever you're throwing at credit cards, loans, student loans. Now here's the important part. Calculate your average monthly spending. This number is going to surprise you. Most people have no idea how much they actually spend per month. They think it's $3,000. It's actually $4,200. Direct eye contact. This audit is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. You're going to see exactly where your money is going, and it's probably going to make you angry. Good. Use that anger. Week 2. Cut the fat. Now that you know what you're spending, it's time to get aggressive about cutting. Sort your expenses from largest to smallest. You're looking for the lowest hanging fruit. The biggest wins with the least amount of effort. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to cut everything. You need to cut strategically. Most people try to eliminate every small expense, every $5 coffee, and they burn out in a week. That's not this. You're aiming to reduce your total spending by 10% to 30%. Let me give you real examples of where this money is hiding. Insurance. Call your car insurance company. Tell them you've been with them for 2 years and you're shopping around. I'm not joking. They will often drop your rate by 15 to 20% just to keep your business. Some people save $100 to $200 a month on this single call. Subscriptions. Spotify, streaming services, gym memberships you're not using. Most people have $50 to $100 in forgotten subscriptions bleeding out every month. Go through your credit card statement and find them all. Cancel the ones you're not using. Rideshare services. This is a big one. If you're taking Ubers and Lyfts instead of using public transportation or driving yourself, you could be dropping $200 to $300 a month on this alone. This is what I call a route habit. It's not the $15 ride, it's the pattern of taking rides. leaning back. The goal here is to find maybe $300 to $400 in monthly savings. That might not sound like a lot, but over 90 days, that's $900 to $1,200 you didn't have to earn. That's the first psychological win. You just got a raise by auditing your life. Phase 2, automation, weeks 3 to 5, 3:30 to 6:15. Graphic, phase 2, automate your wealth. Phase 2 is where things get interesting because this is where you stop relying on willpower and start relying on automation. Week 3, automate your wealth. Here's the core principle: pay yourself first. Before you can spend money, it needs to be out of your account. Open a high-yield savings account right now. Not after the video. Actually do it. These accounts are earning 4 to 5% APY in 2025, which is basically free money compared to the near zero interest you're getting in a regular savings account. Let's say you take home $3,000 a month. You're going to automate 10% of that, $300, to go into this HYSA the day after you get paid. Set it up so it happens automatically. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be disciplined about it. The money just moves before you have a chance to spend it. This is where the psychology shifts. This is where you stop being someone who tries to save and start being someone who does save. The behavioral change here is massive. Week 4, conquer consumer debt. If you have credit card debt, this is the week you get aggressive. First step, call your credit card company. Tell them you've got another offer for a lower rate and you're thinking about transferring your balance. They want to keep you. They'll often negotiate. I know this sounds wild, but credit card companies are in the business of keeping customers, and losing you is worse than lowering your rate. Let's say you've got a $5,000 credit card balance at 22% APR. Your minimum payment is probably around $150 a month. At that rate, you're going to pay like $3,000 in interest before you pay off the card. But if you increase your payment by even $75, so you're paying $225 instead of $150, watch what happens. You cut your payoff time from 3 years to less than 2 years, and you save over $1,000 in interest. Now you might be thinking, Gary, I don't have an extra $75 a month. Actually, you do. It came from the cuts you made in phase 1. This is how the eBay system works. Each phase funds the next phase. Week 5, the $1,000 emergency fund. This is a psychological milestone that matters way more than people realize. If you don't have $1,000 in an emergency fund right now, that's your target for this week. If you already have it, you're aiming for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Here's why this matters. Once you have $1,000, the stress fundamentally shifts. Your car breaks down? Okay, you handle it. Your water heater dies? You pay for it. You're no longer one emergency away from derailing your entire financial plan. This is the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and actually having a foundation. How do you fund this? Easy. Sell stuff you don't use. Start a side hustle for 4 to 5 weeks. Redirect the cuts from phase 1. It doesn't matter. The point is you hit $1,000 and you feel the psychological shift. Phase 3. Wealth building. Weeks 6 to 7. Now we're getting to the stuff that actually makes you wealthy. Week 6. Start investing. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to be a genius investor. You don't need to pick individual stocks or follow market trends. You just need to get into the market. Over the last 100 years, the S&P 500 has returned approximately 10% annually. Not every year. Some years it's down. Some years it's up, 20 to 30%. But over time, it averages 10%. The worst thing you can do is not invest because you're trying to time the market. The second worst thing is trying to beat the market with individual stock picks. So here's what you do. Open a brokerage account. I recommend a major one, Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and invest in an S&P 500 index fund or ETF. Something like VOO or SPY. Now you might be thinking, but Gary, what if the market crashes? The market crashes. That's what it does. But historically, it always recovers, and people who kept investing through the crashes ended up the wealthiest. People who stopped investing during crashes are the ones who missed the recovery. Consistency beats timing every single time. Week 7. Level up your income. Here's where a lot of financial advice gets boring. Just cut more, spend less, live on beans and rice. That's incomplete. You can only cut so much, but there's literally no ceiling on how much you can earn. If you haven't asked for a raise in a year, ask for a raise. Come in with data, show what you've done. Most companies expect to negotiate on salary. They're going to tell you no first. If you're not going to get a raise, job hop. This is the fastest way to increase income. Changing jobs every 2 to 3 years can net you a 30 to 40% salary increase. That's not moving around recklessly, that's playing the game correctly. Or start a side hustle. Pick literally any skill: video editing, copywriting, coding, tutoring, freelance writing. There are platforms screaming for these services, and you can charge $25 to $100 plus per hour. In week 7, I want you to commit to one income increase strategy. Just one. That could be an extra $200 to $500 a month, which compounds massively. Week 8. Write down your goals. Here's a statistic that blew my mind. Writing down a specific goal and sharing it with a friend increases your likelihood of achieving it by 42%. 40? 2%? Not 2%. 42%. So this week, you're writing down exactly what you want to achieve. Not save more money. Actual numbers. I want to save $10,000 for a down payment by December 31st. Or I want to increase my net worth by $25,000 in the next year. Now, calculate backwards. If you need $10,000 by December 31st and it's March, you need to save about $2,500 per month. Is that realistic? If not, adjust the date or the goal. But here's the magic. Once you've written this down and told someone, your brain starts working on it. You start making decisions that align with the goal instead of against it. Week 9. Master credit card usage credit. Cards are a double-edged sword. And here's where I need to be honest with you. If you have self-control, credit cards are incredibly valuable. You get cash back, you build credit history, you get protections. Using a credit card strategically and paying it off monthly is smart. But if you struggle with overspending, credit cards are your enemy. The average credit card APR in 2025 is over 21%. That's predatory. Know yourself. If you're the type who sees available credit and spends it, cut the cards up. I'm not joking. Do it. Get a debit card. Move on. If you have self-control, use them strategically. Put recurring expenses on them. Earn the cash back. Pay them off monthly. You just turned yourself into someone who gets paid to spend money. Week 10. Track net worth. By now, you've automated your savings, you're investing, you've increased your income. Let's visualize the progress. Net worth is simple. Add up everything you own and subtract everything you owe. House worth $200,000 minus mortgage of $150,000 equals $50,000 in home equity. Car worth $10,000 minus loan of $5,000 equals $5,000 in car equity. Savings account with $8,000. Retirement account with $15,000. Total assets, $288,000. Total debts, $155,000. Net worth, $133,000. Now here's where it gets powerful. Visualize this number. Literally write it down somewhere you can see it. Because over the next 90 days, that number is going to go up. Maybe it goes from $50,000 to $55,000. Maybe it goes from $100,000 to $115,000. When you see that number increasing every month, you're no longer just trying to get wealthy. You're watching yourself become wealthy in real time. Week 11, the Spending Audit Part 2. We started with the spending audit. Now we're doing it again, but this time you're looking for changes. Is your spending flat? Down? Have you stayed disciplined on the cuts from phase 1? This is where you catch financial leaks. Maybe you started spending more on delivery apps again. Maybe a subscription crept back in. Catch it and kill it. The goal is to see that your spending has stayed the same or decreased while your income has potentially increased. That gap is your wealth building engine. Week 12. Stretch goals and roadmaps. Okay, you've had 11 weeks of wins. You've automated savings, crushed debt, started investing, increased your income. How does it feel? Now zoom out. What are your big goals? Buying a home, retiring early, building a business? Create a roadmap. 1 year goals, 5 year goals, 10-year goals. Write them down. Be specific. Then, and this is crucial, schedule a quarterly check-in. Every 90 days, you sit down and you check your progress. Are you on track? Do you need to adjust? What worked? What didn't? This isn't a one-time thing. This is the framework for the rest of your life. Here's what I want you to understand. You don't need a six-figure income to transform your finances. You don't need to inherit money. You don't need to get lucky. You need a system, and you need to execute it. In 90 days, you're going to look back and think, why didn't I do this earlier? You're going to have cut unnecessary spending, automated your savings, crushed some debt, started investing, and positioned yourself for real wealth. The person you are 3 months from now is going to be grateful to the person you are today for actually doing this work. So here's what I need from you. Commit to phase 1. This week, audit your finances. Pull those 3 months of statements. Find where the money is going. That's it. Just do that one thing. Then come back next week and we'll talk about cutting the fat. If this helped you, hit subscribe. Drop a comment and tell me what you think is your biggest financial leak. And if this resonates with you, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.